Hi, I'm Luann Midgley from Tell Your Story Videos, and this is Shop Talk. Today I'm going to be speaking with Valentine Kitamura. She is the owner of Eden West Gourmet in Port Moody, BC, and she has an incredible business, and it's known as the Foodie's Heaven. Valentine, I'm so looking forward to speaking with you. Valentine, what has been your journey in becoming the owner of Eden West Gourmet in Port Moody, BC?
It's a long one because I never really planned on doing something like that. Back in the days, I actually started a career in hotels, not to be in the kitchen though, like front of the hotel. And I worked in a hotel for 15 years of my life, and I climbed all the way to being like a director of front office. And the natural progression of that would have been probably to be general manager of a hotel one day. So I was just getting there at the end of the 15 years where I really started to wonder, is that really what I want to do? It was becoming more and more corporate, and I didn't like it in the end. And I felt really sad because I had put 15 years in there and I just didn't know if I wanted to end up in this. So on the side of that, I started to give cooking classes to people for fun. Just because I like cooking. I like being with people who like cooking. And people always told me, you should teach this. It's really great and all that. So I had started doing that on the side. And I was looking in finding a place where to do them because doing them at home was very messy. So I was looking into a place where to host cooking classes with people that I didn't know. And that's what when I was looking for a place, I came across the Uncommon Cafe just before they opened, and met with the owner, and we kind of clicked right away. Where she was also from a corporate background and going into opening a cafe with her husband, so it was like we kind of clicked like that. And then she offered me a job as a baker in the cafe, and so I started working with them. I gave up my career of 15 years to go work as a baker in a cafe, which was really, really hard. It was a very hard decision, but I was so sad in my job at the time that I'm like, you know what? I just want to try it. And so I did that. I became their baker. And at the same time, it was a great opportunity because they gave me the kitchen to do my cooking classes. So it was perfect. So I did that for about 3 years. And after 3 years, I knew that being a baker at a cafe wasn't my calling either. But the cooking classes had picked up really good. So I quit the cafe and I did full-time cooking classes, and I was cooking all over the place. There is quite a few places in Vancouver where you can take a cooking class. So I was just kind of like, how do you call that? A contracted chef for cooking classes. So I did that all over the place. And then I've ended up meeting Chris and Paula, who were the owner of Eden West Gourmet at the time. And we really hit it off as well. And so besides doing cooking classes for them, I also work with them a little bit in the store. And so I became close to them. I became close to the store. And I liked of course, I liked the cooking classes, but I had this idea in mind that one day I would want to have a place of my own, because it's really tiring to be all over the place to do your job. And I could feel that they liked what they were doing, but they were slowly moving towards something else because they have another business on the side. So one day I just came to them and be like, hey, are you by any chance interested in selling this place? And they say yes. So that's kind of like the long story of how I ended up there. Because I think the size of Eden West Gourmet was small enough that I was like, okay, I'm kind of foreign to retail, but it's not too big that I'm too scared, If there had been a bigger store, like the way it was before, for those of you that remember Eden West Gourmet before, it used to be much bigger. I don't think I would have had the gut to take such a big store, but the size it was at the time was kind of like, yeah, maybe I can do that. But I really took it over for the event at first. I'm like, you know what, retail, I don't know, but it's kind of like, I'll figure it out along the way. Yeah, so that's kind of the long story on how, and I ended up there.
Oh, that's a great story. And obviously you're French. We can hear your accent. It's a beautiful accent. Where are you from originally, Valentine?
From France, from the Champagne area. So it's like northeast of France. It's kind of like midway between Paris and the German border.
And when did you come to Canada? And what made you come?
Well, I came to Canada about 18 years ago. And I started traveling after I finished hotel school. I started traveling all over the place, ended up in New Orleans in the States. And that's where I met my husband. And my husband is Canadian. He's Canadian Japanese. And so at the end of a visa, I mean, I had only a year and a half over there. We decided to move together to Canada. Like he wanted to go back. And I'm like, at the time I was kind of like, yeah, sure. I was still undecided on where to go anyway. So I'm like, sure, I'll follow you there. And we didn't plan on getting married so fast because we had been together only for a year and a half. But it was one of those situations where the lawyer was like, it'll be much easier for her to come to Canada if you get married. And we're like, oh, okay, sure. Just kind of like, I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't, of course, in love with him and all that, but we kind of rushed the wedding and I moved to Canada, and that's how it happened pretty much. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
It was a good move because we're still together, right? Like it wasn't just
yeah, of course.
like we're getting to get in, right?
But it worked out, and it worked out beautifully.
Yeah.
Clearly. Eden West Gourmet is a much loved store in Port Moody, and people go there to buy different things that they just can't find at the grocery store. Describe some of the things that you carry and what other services that you offer there.
I try to carry everything that, like you say, you don't find in a usual grocery store. So usually when I go to a grocery store and I see those products that I carry, I'm kind of like, oh, damn, because I always want to try to carry something that's special, right? That's what we hear, because in the Tri-City, you don't have a lot of place like this with things that are different. You can find them more in downtown Vancouver, but not so much around here. So that's what we try to bring to the Tri-City, stuff that are harder to find. Things also that you like to buy for gifts, because we do specialize in gift. So I think our specialty is really gourmet gift and gourmet ingredients, so that when you have a special recipe and you can't find those ingredients, hopefully we'll carry that for you, so you don't have to go all over the place to find it. But yeah, the way we pick the things that we carry is, first of all, listening to our client. And so when they say, well, I have this recipe and it calls for that and I can't find it everywhere. So I look into it and see if it's interesting enough, then I'll bring it in. We try to support some local businesses as well that are kind of trying to make it into the shelf of stores. And we had a few people that had started with us and now they are a little bit all over the place. So that makes us happy because, like we kind of open the door to small local business. So we try definitely to support local, but not everything that people are looking for can be made locally. We don't have olive oil in Canada, right? So that it just doesn't grow in Canada like it would in Spain or in Italy or in Greece, right? So we do import product, of course. It's whatever you guys want to find, we'll try to carry it, no matter where it comes from. But we specialize in gift, and we do great gourmet gift baskets. So our baskets are full of fun things to eat in there. We've been doing great. I mean, the gift basket have been known at Eden West Gourmet ever since they started. So that's something we're pretty proud of. And then we started charcuterie boxes during COVID because our kitchen, we had no use for our kitchen during COVID, unfortunately. So we started to do the charcuterie boxes. So now we're offering charcuterie boxes to go. And of course, the cooking classes. So the cooking classes, we did online during COVID, but now they are back on. So you can come in the kitchen and join an event. And they are demonstration style because we don't have a kitchen where everybody can be cooking their own meal, but they are a lot of fun because you have a chef that's there. It cooks everything in front of you. You get to eat a full meal, just like if you were in a restaurant, but you also get the fun of a live event and a professional chef answering your question. And it's really a really cool show. And at the end of the night, usually everybody is having a lot of fun and socializing. And so that's what's happening at the store. And all those cooking classes, we can do them private as well. So we do some private event too. Yeah.
Well, I've experienced all parts. I think I don't know if I've done a gift basket yet. We'll look into that, but but I've done the other things where I bought from your store, and also have participated in a few of your cooking classes, and I absolutely love those. And I think that's an incredibly unique thing that you do. And I love how it is a date night. It is something you can go to or with your friends, right? And to sit there and to watch, because you have that mirror that is showing everything that's being done. And so I thought it's a wonderful idea. It's a wonderful evening and great food, and it showcases you as a chef. You were one of the chefs that I attended. I think it's really great because then you can use the ingredients that you sell in the store.
The ingredients are also inspired from the cooking classes, because sometimes we will have chefs with different background, and they want to use certain ingredient, and if we happen to not have it in the store yet, then we might start carrying it just because they show it off during the cooking class. So it's also like a lot of things that we carry are also related to the cooking classes that we offer. So that you don't leave a cooking class and be like, that was great, but I don't know where to find all this.
So you have really taken on and embraced social media, and particularly you are so good at doing reels, and and I appreciate all the effort that goes into creating those. And I think they're brilliant because it showcases what you do as a chef, and as well as using the products from your store. And so what has the last couple of years kind of taught you about resiliency and being a small business owner? What have you had to kind of take on that you didn't know how to do before?
Well, the thing is that I took on Eden West Gourmet literally 1 month before COVID in February 2020. So I don't really have a before and an after. Everything that I'm doing for Eden West Gourmet is all I know so far, because, I had only 1 month of normalcy before COVID hit it. So I don't really know how it will be without it. Now we're starting to take a different path where things are slowly going back to the way they should be, with the events going on and things like that. But I can compare it to what it would have been, So I think I can only say this is all I know, as far as I know, that this is what I'm doing now. It's part of what you have to do to have a business, because I haven't done it differently really. But it's just, I think what COVID has told us over this past year and a half is that you can never settle down and be comfortable. It made us pivot so many times that we were forced to learn to do new things to keep people interested, keep them coming back and keep the business afloat. Because if you just stand there and be like, well, this will pass, and you just wait for things to just get better, then I mean, you're just not gonna succeed, right? Like you had to just keep moving. And it was very hard. It's very tiring, because even though I am saying I don't know anything different, what I know is that it could have been easier if things were just kind of like normal, right? But instead of that, it had like we had some opening and some reclosing and some reopening and some reclosing, and then we schedule events and had to cancel them and had to find new way of showcasing the product without people having a chance to taste it, because that's how I came up with the reels, that we couldn't have people tasting in store the product, and we didn't have the cooking classes to showcase them. So that's how I came up with the reels, kind of like, okay, I'm going to show you how I use this product, because a lot of people, when they don't know a product, and sometimes it can be a little bit outside of their budget, so they look at it and they're kind of like, looks interesting, but I don't know what to do with it, so they just put it back, So that's how I started the reels, just trying to find ways to showcase what to do with it, and then to keep people engaged, right? Because putting nice pictures on Instagram is one thing, but reels are kind of more lively, and you can watch them over and over, and it's kind of fun, and I have fun doing them. It's things I'm gonna eat anyway afterwards, so it's not like it's no wasted time, that's for sure. Sometimes it's just cookies that I make with my kids, or it's gonna be my dinner for tonight, and I just try to put some effort into it to make it look good. But yeah, and then you have to kind of follow the trend with social media to stay on top of it. Otherwise, you can have social media and just post whatever you want. That's fine. But if you want to grab attention from people, you have to kind of look at what everybody is doing and pick a little bit of that. You don't have to, you also learn to do what works best for you. But if you try to stay on trend a little bit, then you have better chances of sticking with your fans, right? So it was a very good learning curve, I find, in the end, because I really push myself to do things that I might not have done otherwise. So in the end, it's all good. It was tough at times, but in the end, it's all good.
And the online cooking classes, is that something that you had, you would have offered before, or is that also something that you have done something new?
Yeah, it's definitely new. I don't think I would have offered them otherwise, to be honest. For me, it was very when people started to switch to online to do things during COVID. At the beginning, to be honest, my first reaction was like, oh, I can't do this, because I don't have anybody in front of me and it's too hard. I really literally live for the people that are here in front of me. And that's the whole reason why I'm doing cooking classes, is for the social aspect of it. I love having people's reaction in front of me. I like to see their faces when they eat. I like them to interact with each other and with me, and I like the laughing and the sharing of experience. So doing them online was really, at the beginning, I have to say, was really hard. It was really, really hard. You're by yourself in front of a camera, and people are there, but they are not lively like they will be in person. And I have taught classes where nobody had said a word the entire time. So it's very hard. And but I learned to like it as well, because even if someone wasn't actually talking live, I will have a lot of thank yous at the end, and people will still give you a review afterwards and send you pictures of what they had made. And the cool thing about teaching online is that people could actually make the dishes at the same time in their own kitchen. So it was, again, a new experience, and I'm glad I did it, because without COVID, I would probably have never done it. because, like I say, it was not on my list. But yeah, once again, I'm glad I did it for sure.
What's coming up next for you as things obviously open up more and more? What are you looking forward to trying?
Well, we definitely put a lot of effort towards our cooking classes right now since they have restarted. It's been finding chef has been a little bit hard. It's a bit harder than it used to be because people have moved on and done. The chef that we had before, some are not returning. We have to find new ones. So right now, all of our focus is creating as many events as possible with good quality, of course, with good quality chef. So I'm really focusing on that a lot right now. And if we had a bigger space, I think what we'll be looking at is maybe offering some food to go. So food that we could prepare and package and people can take home. And if I had a bigger space, I would probably try to, make it so that we can do more hands-on classes. Because as you know, our classes are mostly demonstration just because of the lack of space. We don't have the room for people to have their own stove to cook on and things like that. You can make some pasta dough and things like that, but you cannot cook your own meal. So, there are a lot of ideas. There are a lot of things I want to do. But we have our limitation and we have to take it easy because, like I say, it's been a rough ride, and we just have to try to just do business as normal, if there is ever a normal again. And then once we feel good about where we are, then we can look at growth.
Well, I have to congratulate you on all of your success over the last couple of years. It's been tricky. It's been difficult. And I do appreciate all the effort that has gone into you being so engaging on social media and bringing people into your store in other ways other than in person. So I definitely commend you on that. And it just, to me, shows so much resiliency and obviously effort and engagement on your part. So I wish you all the best, Valentine, going forward. And thank you so much for taking out a few minutes of your busy day with me.
Oh, thank you so much, and that was my pleasure. I thank you too for inviting me to do this with you. It's really fun, and I know that you put a lot of work into it too. So thank you in return, for sure.
Well, thanks. And I can't wait to come and see you again at your store.
Yes, for sure. Anytime.
Okay. You take care.
Thank you, Luan. You too.